Okay, we are now back for day 3, and I hope you're really enjoying the last couple of days of content that I've been bringing to you. Literally, these are just thoughts coming out of my mind, literally as I sit to record. So I trust that it is serving you and that it's exactly what you need to hear. Now, today's topic is what we call the knowing doing gap. Okay, and I think you're really gonna love this lesson because it really starts to get you to understand why you do not do that which you actually already know how to do. Okay, so if we start to think about two different groups of people, there are people that have very limited education, haven't got the degrees or whatever, and they're really soaring in life. They are very successful. If we think of the likes of Warren Buffett, Bob Proctor, what do you call the man from Virgin? Richard Branson, always forget his name. These guys literally didn't even go through high school, okay? But yet they're running multi-million, billion-dollar companies. How and why has that all happened, okay? Then you're probably going to know somebody, if it's not maybe perhaps yourself, that is very highly educated, very superior knowledge, but they're getting inferior results. So people nowadays are going to university, they're coming out with large debts, they have got an abundance of knowledge and information, but they're actually not performing and they're not getting the results that they want. Now, it's not because they can't, it's not because they don't want to, but they actually have not been able to take all this material that they've learned and be able to execute it into results, whether that is financially based or growth based, okay? Now, there's also people that are very smart and earn a lot of money, and there's a lot of people that aren't very smart and aren't earning a lot of money, okay? And everyone has a different situation. However, what I know is that knowledge is not power. How many times have you heard a quote or seen something on social media that says knowledge is power? Knowledge is not power, okay? Knowledge that is internalized and turned into understanding is the key of the kingdom, okay? Solomon said, in all you're getting, get understanding, okay? And that's what I really want to focus on today. It's not about you knowing more, it's about you doing more. If you were to look at your week, I'm very confident that you would be able to say that there's been areas in this week, even if we think of the last few days, that you know you should do, but you have not done. Maybe it's listening to these videos. You know you should have listened to them. You know you should have taken action, but you didn't do it. You got to ask yourself why. Why do you keep saying, I know? Like when I talk to people and I say, well, you should have done this or you should have done that, they just go, I know, I really should do that. And that's what we hear in society all the time. I know. And then when you say, well, if you know why you're not doing it, people go, I don't know. So people are very stuck in what we call this knowing doing gap. We know a whole lot, but what we do is a completely different story. And that is where results really are coming from. Your results in your life all around you don't just magically appear, they come from somewhere. Now, when's the last time you asked yourself, where do results come from? Because I never used to know where results came from. I just kind of went through life going, yeah, okay, good things happen, happy days. Bad things happen, not so good. But you just kind of went through it and dealt with the circumstance or condition. But that makes life very fluctuated. Good days, bad days, good business, bad business. As I was talking about yesterday in the self-image really is the kind of conductor of that. So this knowing doing gap, you have got to now decide, well, if I'm going to become more efficient, if I'm going to create more time, I have got to start doing more of what I know to do, okay? Now, very common, the two things that I hear from people is that I need more time and I need more money. And yet, if we actually looked after the time, essentially we're able to create more financial freedom in our life because we've got more time to do it. Now, as good as I am, as good as Bob Proctor is, we cannot create more time. It's physically impossible. Time is time, and time is actually an illusion. We'll not maybe go that deep today. But you have the same 24 hours as me. So what you've really got to ask yourself is, what are you doing with your time? Where are all these hours in a week going to? Now you're gonna probably sit and think, well, I run the kids here, then I've got brownies, then I've got swimming club, or maybe, you're not a parent and maybe you're doing, gym, or maybe you're going out with your friends, maybe you work late. Everybody has got a different schedule, but we all have the same amount of time. And there is no doubt in my mind that there is some time being wasted. In fact, I remember sitting down with a client who said they absolutely have no time at all, and I was able to find 15 hours in their week. 15 hours. Now, when you multiply that throughout the other 52 weeks of the year, that equates to a lot of time and can equate to a lot of money. Okay? Now, don't get caught up in this slogan of time is money. Time is not money. Time is time and money is money. All right? Now, really think about also, are you not doing what you want to do because you think you don't know enough? Because that's a very common trap as well. Yeah, I'll go and do that when I know it all. When I've studied everything, then I'll go and take action. Or maybe you're the person that thinks, well, I don't know enough. I need to go and get a piece of paper. And I remember I learned a very good lesson a couple of years ago when I first really thought I'd love to do something like this. And I seen a lady from the States who was a motivational speaker, and she really inspired me, and I had watched her do her speech. And I went up to her at the end and I says, what do I need to do what you're doing? What piece of paper or what credential or what do I need to do to be able to stand on stage and do that? And she says, do you want a piece of paper? And I said, yeah. And she walked away. She got a piece of paper. She wrote something on it and she gave it to me. And I was very confused, but I looked at it and it said, I am good enough. And I looked at her and she just literally tapped me on the arm and she says, go and do what you're born to do. And she walked away. I don't even know this lady's name. It was literally one of those moments in life where you're like, the penny dropped. Now, if you want to be a doctor, yeah, you got to go train, all right? But you've got to realize that you already know so much more than what you realize. And it's now about internalizing that. In fact, the word education is a Latin word to basically say we have to reduce and develop and bring from within everything that we have. Because whether you know this or not, or believe it or not, you actually know everything that you need to know to achieve what you need to achieve. So think about this. If I think about this phone, if I think about this microphone, if I think about light, that all the ability or awareness to do this was already here, but it took men, women to tap into a higher frequency of thought and come up with the idea, put the components together, and voila, we now have an iPhone and so on. I mean, this iPhone that I'm recording on has more power and ability in it than the first rocket to the moon had. That's pretty incredible technology that we carry about in our pockets all day, every day. And it all started in someone's mind. So what is the idea that is in your mind that you want to bring into the physical world? Now, even if we bring this right down, reduce it to the ridiculous, and think about daily activities, you know that you should be doing a whole lot, but we don't do what we know how to do. In workplaces with employees or businesses, we train our staff to go and know to do better. But nobody does what they know to do, they just do what they do. And that's because results come from a part of your mind called the subconscious. So there's two parts of your mind, conscious and the subconscious. Now there's a whole lot of other parts and I could sit and talk about them all day, but you don't need to know them. The conscious mind deals with thoughts. The subconscious mind deals with emotions. And we have a program system. So if we think about yesterday and we think about the self-image, that is part of your subconscious mind. So it's like a sat nav. And if you are not programmed to do what you say you're going to do, you will simply not do it. You see, we are always told to do better, work harder, take more action. But that is absolutely pointless if you don't understand what is the trigger mechanism for the action. People think, I just have to work harder. I just have to do more. Well, yes, but you're banging your head against the wall if that's where you come at it from. You have got to get to the root cause of results. The root cause of results is what we call a paradigm. A paradigm is a multitude of habits and ideas, and it is fixed in your subconscious mind. So it's like a program system. If the programming in your mind is programmed to do things in a habitual nature, which we all have, habitual behavioral patterns, well, that's what you're always going to do. Now, you can tell yourself in your conscious mind, okay, I must make it to the gym on Monday. I must make sure that I get these tasks done. What do? 90 out of 100 times we procrastinate, we put things off, we just do as we do. Now, you might be the sort of person that has got brilliant habits, and I love that, but you can upgrade them as well. But there's always habits in someone's life that if I could just change this, if I could just contact more people in business, if I could just whatever, your life would be supercharged. Now, in your conscious mind, the conscious and the subconscious, the conscious mind really controls about 3 to 7% of your behaviors and actions. So that's your thinking mind that you use right now. Your subconscious mind, which I'm saying holds this programming system, it controls 93 to 97% of all behaviors. So it's kind of like your automatic system that just kicks in. Do you ever drive somewhere and you get there and then you're like, I don't even remember driving here. Why? Because you kicked into automatic. You knew, your arms knew what to do, your feet and the pedals knew what to do. You went into automatic. Now, most of our day is spent in this place. 93 to 97% of our day is working out of automatic. So you've now got to really think about, well, if these are the results that I wanted. So in day one, we talked about goals, and you might be thinking this is impossible. Other people have done it. Why? Because people do things in a certain way. If you've read the book, The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Wattles stated, and the main quote was, people do not get rich by doing certain things. People get rich by doing certain things in a certain way. The certain way that he talks about is by law, is by following the laws of success. And to understand the laws, you've got to understand the mind. You've got to understand the conscious, the subconscious, the paradigms. And this is really the root of success. Now, when I start to teach people this, they start to absolutely skyrocket. They're able to change habits that are not serving them. They're able to change beliefs that are not serving them. Now, if we think that our fixed subconscious habits and beliefs right now are ruling us, well, what if we just unshook them and started to program in new beliefs, new habits? Well, you're going to get the exact same result. I don't know if you're a spiritual person or if you're not into spiritual, not into God, or maybe you are just all about science. It doesn't matter what category you're in. The laws that govern everything around us, whether it's gravity, whether it's whatever, they are 100% evenly present and exact at all times. So if you're into religion, you will know the saying of that which we sow, that which we will also reap. Okay, if you're not into the Bible or anything, and that is absolutely fine, then maybe you understand the law of karma. Okay, what goes around comes around. Same law, just not from the Bible. Then if you're not into that and you're not into the Bible, maybe you're into science. Maybe you just love the facts and the figures. Well, Emerson said that the law of all laws was the law of cause and effect, which basically means for every cause there is an equal and opposite reaction, which causes an effect. Now, that may have just completely blew your mind. Don't worry about it. Basically, it means what we put out, we get back. And I think pretty much everybody listening to this knows that. But what you gotta know is that actually knowing it doesn't make it change. We can all know to do this. We can all know to do that. It makes no difference until you have it programmed in your subconscious. Right now, it maybe is in your conscious mind. You even might have beliefs that you believe in yourself consciously, but actually subconsciously you don't. And then you're wondering why things aren't working out for you. Now, if you don't believe me that this is a real thing, I've got a lovely little thing to show you, which I actually got for my birthday. And it is called Newton's Cradle. I always wanted one of these, and this is what my birthday present was. And you may have seen these before. So this really is based on the law of cause and effect, okay? Newton's law. And what it states is what we put out, we must get back. So if I lift one little ball, I'm going to get another little ball back, okay? If I lift 2, I get 2 on the other side, okay? If I hit 3, I get 3 on the other side, okay? So that is a very simple evidence of the law of cause and effect. It works within our minds, it works within our physical plane, okay? It's happening whether you like it or not. So what we put out is what we get back. So you've got to realize that the action that you're doing things with is with an energy. And that energy is dictated by your thoughts, your beliefs, and your habits, which are held in this programming system within your subconscious mind. So if you want to start to close the gap from what you know to what you do, you have got to start studying this material in depth and realize that everything comes from your subconscious mind. So really think about what habits, if you think about that goal that you set in day 1, what habits or what beliefs do you need to change in order to get that, okay? If you think about, maybe your goal is to earn more money. Well, if consciously, you can dream about millions all day long. You can have a vision board with it all painted on it. It's not going to work, guys, if your vision is not in harmony with the paradigm. And that's the one big thing that The Secret, if you've read it or listened to it, really missed out. They didn't talk about paradigms. They didn't talk about you needing to have this internalized into your subconscious mind. If you're in business and you're spending a lot of money, and I've seen it happen, tens of thousands being sent on sales training, but what happens? Your staff go away and they learn a whole lot. It stays in their in their conscious mind, but it doesn't get into their subconscious. So they go back into their job, they get back into their, whatever they do, and they may be better for a couple of days, but essentially they just do what they always know how to do. We are habitual creatures. If you want to increase your results, if you want to create quantum leaps, if you want to dramatically multiply your income, your productivity, basically use your time, leverage your time, you have got to start looking at your habits and your beliefs in your paradigm, which is held within your subconscious mind. Okay, so this knowing doing gap, if you're wondering why you're not getting results, guys, you have got to look at the mind, because that's where results come from. So I'm going to touch on this a little bit more as we go throughout the rest of the videos. As you can see, we're going to get in a little bit more depth every single time. But for now, just know that right now, as you sit, you are programmed. Now that might seem a little bit weird, a little bit scary, but it's true. And you're programmed genetically as you were born, and then you were programmed environmentally. And all this information just came into your subconscious mind and got stuck there. Your self-image, as I said yesterday, was developed in the past. You don't know what you don't know. So it's very important to really think about, well, what do I need to know to get to my goal? And I've got to get it into my subconscious mind. It's like when you were a kid, you probably believed in Santa. You probably believed in the Easter Bunny. Why? Well, because mom and dad told you that it was real and you had no ability to kind of, is that real? And you just accepted it. So it went straight into your subconscious mind and it held. Now, when you grew up, you realized, that wasn't quite accurate, and you were able to change that belief because you knew that that wasn't the way. Now, if you really start to reevaluate your beliefs or your habits, well, things are going to take a complete turn for you. We say if you reevaluate your belief about something, your belief about the thing will start to change. And of course, your whole environment and what we call reality will start to match the new belief system. So you really want to start to think about, how would you love your world, your outside physical world, to start to change? And it always comes back to this knowing doing gap. You see, I can teach you to really get to a high level, but before we even tap into that, which I kind of call like the superpower, we want to get you operating really good now with what you have. You don't need more education possibly at this point. You don't need all the training on sales or training on whatever, unless you need an accredited course to perform surgery or something like that. But again, it's not that you need to know more. Even maybe if you do need to go and do a course, maybe you're not going and applying for the course because you don't think that, you're good enough, whatever the reason may be. But in every area of life, there is plenty of things that that you're just not doing. And if we just start there and we start to close the gap between what you know and what you do, your results are going to take off without a shadow of a doubt. Whether you're in business, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in health, all areas of your life are going to dramatically improve. And even if you're doing it for professional reasons, it will already have an effect on your personal life because you're going to have more time. You're going to be able to play with the kids. You're going to be able to take, your friends out or your family out. So if you're looking more time, and that's maybe something that you've been holding on to, I just don't have the time. It's an excuse and you have got to let go of it, or at least take responsibility for it, because there are people out there, they are doing incredible things, they are succeeding, and they have the same time as you. Now, I'm not putting you down. I'm just trying to say to you that things can really change if we close the gap. So between today and tomorrow, I want you now to really think about, where are these no undoing gaps in your life? Now, I mentioned earlier that we work on automatic, so sometimes you can't catch them. Maybe a good thing to be doing would maybe ask your partner or ask somebody that you live with, but you got to be strong and ready to hear the answer. But a good way that I like to do it is just to really write out my daily actions and really then go, where is this getting stuck? What is my automatic thought? Where is my automatic behavior that keeps cutting the legs from under me? And when you start to really reflect on a day, reflect on a week, you will start to notice where the no undoing gaps are. And then if you want to change them, well, then you have to start thinking about how to change them. Now, I'm not going to go into that in this video, but they can be changed. And if you want to know, then please just book in a call with me. We'll get a chat about that, and you can change it. So that's what I'm bringing to you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Tomorrow we're going to be coming back with yet another one, and I'm excited for how these are going. I'm excited to even hear feedback. Please email me back. Let me know what has been the biggest influence to you, what's been the biggest impact, and I trust that this will serve you and help you throughout the rest of this week. All right, take care, and I'll be back with you tomorrow.